Hello, and welcome back to another Joe's Arcade. This time we are looking to model the last little bit of electrical equipment that's got to get done, which is a single switch, and then I'm probably going to throw outlets and switches up on the walls where they belong. So, we'll get right to it. This week's music of modeling choice is going to be Bastille's Bad Blood, because it's a good album. So we'll kick that off. And yeah, link to that as always will be in the description. So we are looking to do this kind of a switch here, and some of the components for it I've already got, so I can salvage them from other models. Before I get into that, though, I want to point out a couple little tweaks that I made that didn't seem like they were going to be interesting enough to catch on camera. These doors here, with the new information I've gotten, they're actually, there's a little pocket grip on both sides of the door, so that's inserted now. And then I made a change to the edge profile of these, outlet boxes. It's a little smoother all the way around before it came to a distinct point that didn't look very good and wasn't accurate. So we've got that now. That's already taken care of. So to model this switch, I'm going to start by copying that guy, and I'm going to explode it because I believe it might be a component. And we'll get rid of the outlets. Come in here, and I am going to pull that to be, flush with our face here, because then I can delete those lines, and I can do a window select there and delete that, and we've got a nice fresh face to work with. So pretty simple. Since this is a exploded group at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and pull in the switch geometry. And I think the other nice thing is, for this, I should be able to use potentially some of the switch geometry that I laid out in the previous episode with the double switch. So I'm going to find that guy as well, copy it, and we'll explode that. And we'll delete the back plate, but I will keep one of these switches around. Okay. So, for the single switch, it is set, and this is just coming from some notes that I have to the side here. Little bounding box, which is going to be 0.395 inches. That is considerably far away, so I'm going to actually draw it over here. And let's move my switch over there as well. Alright, 0.395 by 0.932 is that dimension. And then it is 0.04 thick. And then it is, of course, hollow. 0.04 thick. I'm not sure that worked quite how I wanted it to, so let's move that guy back out. 0.75. There we go. That's more like it. And that'll be the same color as this. It may actually be a white, come to think of it. Because this is a white switch. So we'll make those both off-white for now. But this leaves us with a slightly narrower area here. I think that was 0.315. It was. This here is 0.38. So I've got to do some subtraction there. 0.65 divided by 2, 0.0325 thinner on each side, which is just about nothing. 0.0325 and 0.0325, so just a hair thinner there. Okay. And just to confirm, this should be just over half an inch. Yep, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead and move that guy into this box here and just see how that looks. I think I had rotated this down by 20 degrees. Yep. So I'll bring it straight again. Just get that centered in here. But I guess I didn't quite center it well enough, huh? Okay, there we go. Must have snapped to some other point. And because this is circular, I should be able to grab that, move it in yay much. And that can be my, oops. No, not quite. Looks like I have to move it back just a touch more. There we go. And you know, it probably just isn't meant to rotate quite as far. So let's bring it up 5 degrees. And there we go. There's our switch. This thing has got to be moved flush with the side here. So let's do that. Let's get this one too. And I want to do a quick check and make sure that those are still in the right place. It appears they are because that's snapping to the center. But definitely don't want to let that stray too far. And we'll group that because now that has to go to the center of my plate here. So let's draw a midpoint line. Which is going to be tricky because I've turned off that geometry to make it look nicer. So I'll view hidden geometry here. Move that out of the way. And I'll get the midpoint. And now I want to take this midpoint, ooh, tiny spaces, tiny spaces, and move it to there. To there, and finally to the midpoint of that line. Obviously not centered in the plate yet, but when I move this up, it is. And I can go ahead and turn hidden geometry off, and we've got our switch. One other little tweak I'm going to make, this is purely because this switch actually goes in a different room where the lights more typically are on when people are around. We are going to bring it up 30 degrees, turn the lights on. Okay. So there we've got it, our other switch. Group that guy up. So then the other thing I wanted to do here was start actually placing some of these on the wall where they belong. So if I go into my notes, on this first scan here I have some pretty chicken scratch notes, but they do tell me enough to know where to place these things. These E's and 4 V's, 2 V's tell me they're either a double or a quadruple outlet. So I'll go ahead and grab a quadruple outlet here and move it over into the room. And let's grab our double as well. And we will need these two items from previous episodes, little plug there. And they are pressed right up against this top stripping here. So I know that 43¼ inches from this corner is my first 4 vertical. 43.25. I'll draw a little line there, and then there's another one 28¼ inches from there. I'm going to grab my midpoint in that group, and I'll put that on the wall. And I didn't actually need that line, because after I move this up vertically to where it should go, which is going to be here, I can just copy that. Make sure everything looks alright. It does. 28.25. There's where that outlet goes. Okay. So that's one section done. There's a couple more of those. That are along the top here. This one actually goes in a separate location. I think I've got that shown right here. So I'll come back to that. But in this corner, these dimensions are not necessarily to scale. I have one 27 inches out. Oops. So I'll copy that. And if I copy it along the green axis here, I can throw it right on this point, and it's centered where I want it to be. So we need another one. Well, a few more. But one here that is 48 inches. Another one that's another 43 inches long. Then 45 inches. Okay. Those were all 4s, except this one stealthily is a 2. So I should have been placing my first 2 there, but no worries. That's a pretty easy fix. I'll just move that right up like so. It's lined up in the same place. I'll delete that one. Nope, 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 nope. Wrong one. Zoomed in too close there. This is over 48 inches. So I'll delete that one. And then I will move up to this strip. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so I've done that wall now. This one is obviously a shorter wall. There's 2 outlet, 57¼ inches out. So we'll copy that thing and rotate it, of course, 90 degrees. Take the midpoint to the end point. Having trouble getting this vertical snap to be right, but that is it there. And then I will snap it to the wall. And it looks like that's it for that specific wall. But on this other side, we've got another double that's 25 inches out. Rotate that 90. Looked like something strange happened with that rotation, but it's all good. And look at that. That's a tight tolerance there. Bring that down to where it belongs. But it's reassuring because this actually was pressed up right against it, I remember from measuring. So the fact that it comes in that cleanly, pretty encouraging. Means stuff's going in the right place, basically. Alright, so we've got another double, 52 inches down, and then 56.25. 50. Make sure these are all doubles, but they do appear to be. 53. 47.875. Got precise on that one. And 52.375. And something like 28¼ to the middle, which is about exactly what I've got here. So again, just reassuring because that means that stuff is going in the right place. Okay, we have another 4 then on this wall. 90. I'll line up where it's going to go before I actually get too far on placing it here. That's going to be how far over? 2 7/8 inches from the edge of the closet here. So 2.875. Come on, snap there. Alright. Pretty close to the edge, I might say. And there we go. Very nice. Okay, so that's the main outlets along the top. Now I can go ahead and place these other couple ones. I've got a note over here as well for 1 times vertical wall switch, which indicates that over here we've got 29 inches over and then 49 1/4 to top. That's where this guy goes. This is the hall switch. So put that there. This will get detailed out a little bit more at some point, this area. And then we come over here. I've got my other outlets. Now, there may be some along the floor, but did not have access to those. At some point, it's possible we could go back and get that detail. But these are the ones that are being used, or that are visible at least. So I come from the door here. 50 inches up and 10.625 inches over. I get to the center of one of these guys. I'll put that to the wall. Delete those construction lines. And believe it or not, I've made a mistake. That's not this, although I will be needing one of those. That's this, our switch that goes there. Make sure I put that in the right place. Yep, 50 inches. So that goes there. Okay. From a pretty similar type of measurement here, we've got 42.25 inches up and 13.25 inches over. That is where our 6 outlet thing is going. Hit that. And then that needs to snap to the back. And finally, we do a vertical 4 outlet. So 47 inches up. 16.625 inches over. And there's the box. Just to make sure that looks right, because you can never make too many mistakes, here's a picture of what that area should look like. I'd say not bad. It looks pretty close, except for a couple texturing things, which will get done. So that is the room here. I'm going to turn off components here, and I'm going to put on this ceiling. But I would say that's the room with outlets installed. Starting to look like something. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Modeling Joe's Arcade. Bye-bye.